Morning guys, I'm in the middle of a big project. It's gonna be pretty much for me the whole weekend. I'm just kind of taking my time, and I got my Dodge Nitro back, and one that I made a video, and I found out that the intake valves are leaking. It has a low compression on cylinder number 4 here, and so far I've got the front part, the electric fan, the front of the engine. You can see it's out. The belt, timing belt, is exposed. I've got all the marks. Actually, it shifted a little bit. That's interesting. It was in time last night. So you can see you got these marks here down at the bottom as well, and so that has to be lined up. So as I said, so far I've got the intake removed, valve cover gasket, a whole bunch of, there's a radiator hose that goes around, and now I also removed the rocker arms, and so far everything looks okay. I don't see anything that's all the lashes and everything looks fine. This is actually the problem cylinder here, and everything looks okay. The rollers are fine. The camshaft looks okay. All of the on the problem cylinder, so far I don't see anything wrong with it. All the springs, everything is in a good condition. So I don't know, why it leaks so much. So part wise, I have new Mopar head gasket. I've got a kit with a new water pump, new timing belt, new bolts, and I'm gonna replace both of the belts. The one is stretch belt, so I didn't bother to move the belt. I just cut it off. And now to do a main repair, we decided to get the head off of eBay, took it to the machine shop, and because the way that looked, I was afraid that maybe it got overheated, and because it was leaking on a intake valves and kind of the same rates, I was kind of concerned if there may be a crack between valves on a cylinder head itself. So we decided to get this one off of eBay. And so anyhow, you can see it's all nice and shiny, it's ready to go. And so I decided to repeat my leak down test. As I said, now we can see I don't have a rocker arm, so all of my valves are actually up. Not all of the pistons are in the top dead center, but they don't have to be as long as the cylinder is sealed. All the valves are up, so we can actually compare cylinder to cylinder. And let's go ahead and do a number. This will be number 2, 4, and 6. Put the light on. I already got my leak down tester here, and it's set on 0. So I'm gonna go to this one, to number 2 first. And you can see the it's sealed right, but I put some of those brake cleaners on my intake valves, and I can hear it, a whole bunch of bubbling coming out, and you can see how much bubbles is coming out of the intake side. So they kind of got me worried, because my number 4, but it seals okay. So I was a little confused, because the amount of leakage that I have, I shouldn't do this. Amount of leakage that I have on number 4, and when we looked in intake valves, it wasn't that, compared to now to number 2, it's not that much. So now I'm on number 2, and we can see we have a significant loss of pressure And but let's go ahead and look at the intake valves. And of course they're leaking, but not as much as you know, they don't bubble as much as they. Okay. And then I went to exhaust. Put the glove on and poke a little hole in one of the fingers. You can see actually I'm actually having a leak on a exhaust valve, not the intake. But I couldn't hear any sound coming from a you know, exhaust at all. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. I mean, I'm on the right track, but kind of disappointed to myself that I didn't actually diagnose it correctly. That's actually coming off the exhaust valves. Now here's number 6, and there's actually nothing on a, I cannot show you guys, but there's nothing on the intake valves on the number 6 at all. I don't see any bubbles whatsoever. So let's go back to, I mean, it doesn't, I mean, it leaks a little bit. You know, here's the glove on the number 6, so you know, this one doesn't have any leaks. Kind of disappointed to myself that I in a way misdiagnosed it, and but you know, it is what it is. I mean, it will be the new, you know, so to speak, valve job will fix this car, but I'm kind of not very happy about it. So anyhow, you know, what I wanted it to do this test just to, you know, make sure one more time. And when I got into number 2 first, and I could hear the air escaping, but you know, I was in a good range. I mean, it was sealing okay, and I sprayed some brake cleaner on my intake valves, and it was bubbling like crazy. So I guess you know, maybe I should not use a brake cleaner. So anyhow, so my next step will be to remove a fuel rail and lower intake plenum, and then I have to, you know, I gotta get back in time. I think because I was doing the leak down test, the pressure might just you know, move the crank a little bit. Put it back in time, and then take the belt off. There's the tensioner here. There's 2 bolts at the bottom. You take that out. There's a whole bunch of videos on YouTube how to do these engines. They're not too hard. So once I do that, I'm going to take the belt off. And then I have to take camshaft sprockets off, and then this cover, and then I should be able to, at that point. Now I have to disconnect my my exhaust, and I'm thinking, I think I have to also remove the power steering pump to the side a little bit. But I sprayed the exhaust last night, so that I'm hoping, by the way it looks, I should be able to access the bolts fairly easy. And I think I'll just remove the head and the intake, I mean exhaust manifold altogether. And I think that would be, we'll see during installation what I'm going to decide to do, but I think that there'll be a way to pull the head out. Now I got my fuel rail removed, I got my lower intake plenum removed. I will need to get a new gasket for that, and then the next step will be to, now I have to put my belt back in time, and then I'll take the tensioner down with these 2 bolts, just unbolted, pull it out, and then you know, belt will get loose. And once I get that, then I will get the sprockets off and remove this cover, camshaft sensor, and then I'm going to disconnect my exhaust. I'm making progress. It's a good project. Now, one of the big challenges actually is, of course, taking those bolts from the exhaust. They can be rusted, and so what I like to do, what I like to use is my adapter that I made. It's this one here. Just put on the. I made this video. Actually, this is actually very useful. You can use it in so many different applications. I mainly actually made it to get those screws off the rotors, but now actually lately I've been using it for different things, and I noticed it actually really works well on a, like right now, you know, it's sometimes you're getting a situation where you can't really get your sometimes you get in a situation you cannot get your impact socket on it. It's just not enough room, so I just have a regular socket. This is number 16, and so I'm gonna put it up on this bolt. Sorry guys, you can't see that, but you can see what I'm doing here. So okay, you guys see it. So now the nice thing about it, I'm not gonna strip the bolt. I'm just, you know, hitting the bolt with my air hammer, and I'm moving this handle to start spinning. It's already moving. There you go. Okay. Now I'm going to another one. There we go. Okay, but I did put a whole bunch of penetrating oil yesterday, so, but it's always, there's a chance if you use an impact, you can strip the head of the fastener, and that it's really makes the job 10 times more difficult than it should be. But with this system, you know, you're just hitting with your impact, and you're turning your handle slowly until it gets loose. And there you go. This is an excellent tool. It actually was. Alright, there you go. There's another one. But again, this is the very simple design. I made it myself. I know the Snap-on actually sells this tool, but it's super easy. And now with this tool, you're hitting the bolt straight to get it, you know, to shock it, but you're not spinning at the same time. You're just spinning with your hand, and it makes the job 10 times easier. Alright guys, I'm gonna continue with my project. Time to take the belt off. Got those two bolts removed from the tensioner. Now at the bottom here there's a little bracket that holds this hose. You need to remove this hose to pull that bracket off. Just take the screw off and pull it to the side to get your tensioner out. And I'm back in time. Down here I made a little plastic wedge. I kind of wedged it behind the crankshaft pulley. Hopefully it will prevent from crankshaft pulley from moving once I start putting everything back together. And now we're going to take the belt. This car has 150,000 miles. I'm not sure if the belt was replaced or not, but it looks in pretty good shape actually. It is a Mopar original belt, so, but looks pretty good actually. Okay, so next will be we can remove the water pump, pretty straightforward job, and then get these sprockets off, so we can get this whole cover off, and then start removing the head. All the bolts are removed from the water pump. You gotta be careful, the bolts are not the same. They're actually 3 different lengths, and most of them are the long ones. Now there are 4 these short ones, and I marked each hole where they need to go. Now there's one here, I mark it with X, and that's actually this one here. It's the shortest one of all. You can see there's a difference. So be careful when you're removing these. So I just marked it on the old pump, and once I transfer to my, I will once I get my new pump, I'm just gonna, follow this order, and it should be okay. I should be able, I'll know which bolt goes where. So what bolt goes where. So let's see. Make sure everything is removed. Yep. Yeah, I just need to tap it a little bit more. It starts to leak antifreeze. Oh boy. There we go. Alright, I guess smart thing would be to remove the lower radiator hose and drain the whole antifreeze so you don't have all this mess, but oh well, it's okay. The pump looks actually pretty good. So, alright, so this is the way, let's see which way it goes, yeah, this way. So this one here is the shortest one. I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4 short, and the other ones are long ones here, all the way around. So long one, long one, long one, long one, long one, long one, short, 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 and the shortest. Okay, all right. Okay, next step is to remove these sprockets. Now, I don't have the wrench for to hold the sprocket, and we need like a 36mm wrench or one 7/16. Now I have a sock, but not the wrench, and the biggest one I guess is one and a 3/8, and it's not gonna work. So what I made, I have a this old socket, still at a hot actually, and I welded to this metal handle and drilled a hole so I can get my socket through there. It's 18. So I'm going to be able to now hold my nicely hold my sprocket, and this will actually come handy when it's time to put, to tighten it down. So let's get the now when I'm going to need this again, I probably never, but it's what it is. Sometimes you got to modify the tool that you're going to need to finish the project. So let's see now. Okay, now it actually doesn't really matter on this one. You want to just hold it because I got my rocker arms are out. Now on this head, I'm going to keep the rocker arms. I really want to get a good grip on it because I don't want this camshaft to spin and hit my pistons. So okay. Tight. All right. Nano in action. A little weak actually. Alright, so now these bolts are different. How long this one is. Now, you should really replace these bolts, but I could not find one, so I'll just have to reuse it. So let's take the sprocket off, and this one is one that actually has the for our camshaft sensor. So everything looks okay here, and you're gonna have a little notch here, you know, that you put your lined up with your camshaft, and so now camshaft spins freely because, of course, I don't have my rocker arms on it. So I'm gonna do the same thing on another side. I'm actually glad I made this tool, because I need to really hold it now. And these bolts are different, they're not the same size, same length, so make sure you just put them back with your camshaft sprocket so you don't mix them up. Alright. Okay, next step is to remove all these bolts. We got 3 on each head at the front. I think this one, this one. Basically now we're gonna remove the back cover, and once we do that, we are home free to remove the cylinder head, and that should yeah. So okay. All right, it's time to pull the this back cover. We got all the bolts here. There are 2 bolts. They're different. I marked them. So just you know, pay attention where the bolts going to, just to mark it on your bolts and your cover. Also, you have to remove the power steering pump. There's 3 bolts that holds the power steering pump because it's bolted to this cover. And I mean, you don't have to take it out, just to unbolt the cover and pull the power steering to the side. And here's the cover. There's 1 bolt is different here, and another here. So you see that? Yeah, one is here, they're different. So I marked this one with X here, so I know which way it's supposed to go. These 3 and these 3 are the same. And now, I believe we are ready to remove the head. Bolts are out. Let's see how difficult it's going to be to pull it with the exhaust manifold together. Okay. Harness is actually. I'm going to disconnect the crankshaft sensor. It's going to give me a little bit more room to pull the harness back. This is the best tool ever. I get like 3 or 4 of these, but I would take them to, I would put them on the belt sander, make it a little bit thinner, and they're nice. You get all these brackets off. And a little bit more room, I guess. Okay. Okay, it's loose. All right, let's see if I can do it here. So put this on top of this, on this side, just in case if I have to put it up on this side, just to kind of re-grab it or something. So let's see. Boy. Whew. All right. Boy. There's a head gasket. Looks okay. Alright. Alright, let's look at the head, see what's going on there.